Welcome back to the CryptoMind Business Cast.
If you feel like the ground beneath the digital economy is just shifting at an impossible speed,
No,
well, you're not wrong.
not at all. It's moving incredibly fast.
We are living through this moment of extraordinary collision.
It really is a collision.
You have this unprecedented technological disruption, the AI boom.
Right.
And it's meeting the slow, grinding machinery of global governance.
And that's the tension. It's where the future of commerce, finance, really everything is being redefined.
It's being defined by lawmakers now, not just engineers.
Exactly. Welcome back to the Deep Dive, everyone. This is the place where we try to take all that noise and hype out of the digital revolution.
And give you the clear, rational analysis you need.
Our mission is, as always, to give you a shortcut to being well-informed on this critical intersection of business, tech, and governance.
Yeah, we sift through the dense source material, the legal drafts, all of it, so you don't have to.
So you don't have to spend your time navigating that complexity.
We are definitely not here to chase fleeting trends or, deliver clickbait.
No.
We're here for the smart, curious listener. The entrepreneurs, the investors, the professionals who want that clear, rational, long-form analysis of these really complex systems.
Mm-hmm.
So today we're breaking down the why and the what matters behind what is probably the most intense regulatory effort the tech world has ever seen.
It really is.
The biggest story for 2025 isn't just about what AI can do, it's about what governments are demanding it must do, or what it must not do.
And that critical thinking is just so essential today. When we analyze the landscape, the single biggest fact that emerges from our sources is this.
What's that?
The speed of AI development, accelerated by things like ChatGPT and all that venture capital.
All that money pouring in.
It's triggered what is basically an emergency coordinated response from governments all over the world. The regulation itself is the earthquake.
Absolutely. While we might usually kick off a deep dive talking about market volatility or big macro moves, and those things are definitely in the background. The sources we have today are just overwhelmingly clear.
The focus is elsewhere.
The most pressing business and geopolitical story right now is this massive global effort to govern artificial intelligence.
And this isn't some slow-moving policy trend. It is a regulatory boom.
A boom. That's a great way to put it. It's forcing every single company that touches AI to rethink its entire structure.
Exactly. I mean, the historic investment and development frenzy has put regulators on high alert everywhere. This is a comprehensive global trend trying to set standards before the tech becomes, completely unmanageable.
Okay, so let's unpack this global response. Where are the major centers of gravity for this governance effort? And how are their approaches, philosophically different?
We can really identify 4 key areas of activity spanning continents.
Okay.
But the first, and I would say the most ambitious and comprehensive, is Europe. Specifically with the groundbreaking EU AI Act, which our sources call the RIA.
The RIA, okay. And across the Atlantic, what's happening here?
In North America, the US has responded, but not with the big law like the EU. It's more about key mechanisms.
Like what?
There's an executive order on AI setting government policy, and then, maybe most importantly for the private sector, the NIST AI Risk Management Framework.
The AI RMF 1.0.
That's the one. And it isn't a law, but it provides the technical methodology for how you deploy AI responsibly. And Canada also has its own effort with ADA, the Artificial Intelligence and Data Act.
So Europe is leading with the law, and the US is leading with frameworks and methodology. What about the rest of the world?
Latin America is showing some really significant foundational activity, and it's often focused on social equity.
That's interesting.
Yeah, Mexico has recommendations that are heavily focused on personal data, human rights, democracy, and crucially, addressing the digital divide for groups like Indigenous peoples and women.
I see.
And Brazil is also moving forward, focusing on setting clear ethical principles. So the governance there is really rooted in social justice.
That theme is already emerging. It's not just about, a computer making a mistake. It's about making sure AI doesn't just deepen the fault lines we already have in society.
Exactly.
So what about the Asia Pacific region?
In APAC, the approach tends to be more sector-specific. Australia, for example, is concentrating on things like generative AI, issuing position statements on how it must be used, or developing frameworks for very specific applications.
Like what?
Like autonomous vehicles. They're tackling one problem at a time rather than trying to create one giant omnibus law.
It's fascinating just how broad the concern is. It's ethics, human rights, social vulnerability, all baked into these regulatory talks. But let's focus in on the RIA, the EU's big one.
It's the most likely to have a global impact.
Right. So what is the core philosophy that's driving this immense new law?
The core philosophy of the RIA is fundamentally a risk-based approach.
A risk-based approach.
And it focuses on what are called ex-ante remedies. This is critical.
Okay, let's slow down and clarify that. Ex-ante versus ex-post. That sounds like a fundamental legal distinction that's going to change how companies have to operate.
It absolutely is. When we talk about ex-ante, we mean prevention.
Before the fact.
Exactly, before the fact.
Yeah.
It's about design, internal controls. The EU is trying to manage risks before the damage occurs.
So it's like a mandatory safety inspection before you drive the car off the lot.
That's a perfect analogy. And mandatory design standards for the car itself.
Welcome to the CryptoMind Business Cast.